What's up, True Life? So excited that you guys are here on this Sunday morning or whenever you're watching this. Thank you for joining our YouTube Devos today. I just want to share a quick word with you guys that's been on my heart, and I hope that it's encouraging to you, helps you, challenges you guys in your walk, in your faith, and I just want to dive right into it. So, we want to talk today about imitating God's heart, and there's a specific way I want to talk about doing this, and this is found in Luke chapter 6, verses 35 and 36. It says, "Love your enemies, do good to them, lend to them without expecting to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as children of the Most High, for he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. You must be compassionate, just as your Father is compassionate." You see, Jesus in this context is giving his disciples a lesson on how to be good followers, to imitate his heart, and really presents his disciples with this crazy thought, and that is to love your enemies. And I don't know about you guys, but anytime someone comes up to me and is like, arguing with me or messing around with me, like someone who's an enemy, my first thought is not to love them. Right? I don't know about you guys, but that is what Jesus is telling his disciples is to love their enemies, which is so counterculture to what we have been grown up in, what we've been taught. And I think it's so apparent that we practice this. And even more than that, Jesus says to his disciples to give sacrificially, to give, to those enemies, not only to love them, but to give to them, to lend to them, not expecting anything in return. That is God's heart, is that, it even says in this verse that he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. And so that is what Jesus is telling us to do with our enemies, is that he's saying to give sacrificially to them, not expecting anything in return, but also to know that your reward will be in heaven. God will reward you for loving your enemies, for giving to them, for doing all of those things for them. And so, I believe that as humans, we are made in the image of God. That's something that we have been taught, that we know. We're made in the physical image of God. But I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes beyond just our physical appearance, but it goes into our heart as well. And this is one of those things that God is trying to teach us and help us to imitate God's heart and allow us to be changed from the inside to look like Jesus himself. And so this is something that we need to practice, to put into practice, and just to be generous with those who are against us. Jesus died on the cross while we were still sinners. The Bible tells us that, and that is exactly what this verse is talking about when Jesus says that, "For he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked." And so that is the heart behind this, is that God is compassionate to those who are unthankful, those who are wicked. And I don't know about you, but that was me at one point. At some point in our lives, we've all been that unthankful person. We've been that wicked person, and yet God forgave us. God still loved us, and he still had compassion on us. And so Jesus urges us to do the same thing, to have compassion on those who are against us, and to be givers, because Jesus was a compassionate giver, even to the point of losing his life for us. And so I want to leave you with a couple of questions just to ponder and think about, and as we go throughout this week, and how you guys can engage deeper in your faith. The first question is, what is your initial response when you encounter an enemy? Someone with different opinions, with someone you disagree with, someone who says something mean to you, whatever it may be. What is your initial response when you encounter an enemy? That's a really deep question. The second one is, why would Jesus ask us to love our enemies? I don't know if you ever thought about this, but why would Jesus ask us to love our enemies, right? He fights for us. He's on our side. We will have enemies in this life. We are promised that. But why does Jesus tell us to love our enemies? And the last question I want to leave you with is, how can you love an enemy this week? Just practically thinking, when you are faced with someone who is opposing you, who disagrees with you, how can you love that person? Think through that, practice it. We love you guys. We're so excited that you were here this morning or whenever you're watching it. We love you guys. True Life, you're amazing. We'll see you guys next week.